Sponge on the Run is officially here, and let's just say I have some strong feelings about it. SpongeBob's third movie may not be available in America right now, but VPNs are pretty cool. I gave it a watch because why not? And boy was I disappointed. Let me be clear though, I genuinely wanted to like Sponge on the Run because it's SpongeBob. You can't go wrong with him. But I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I loved it, since that would be lying. Before we dive into some of the big problems, here are the positives. For one, I absolutely love the art style. Turning Bikini Bottom into CG isn't something that sounds right, but the team pulled it off well. It was eye candy, watching characters with their vibrant expressions and movements. The world seemed alive in a way like never before, which was always a joy to watch. Another nice aspect of Sponge on the Run is the various Easter eggs, with my favorite being a sketch of SpongeBob. If you didn't know, this is one of the first designs of everyone's favorite animated sponge, drawn by Steven Hillenburg himself. It's a reminder of how far he's come over the years. Before the credits, we get this for the legendary man himself, and I think that's awesome. No matter how big SpongeBob becomes, we can never forget about the guy who started it all. But alright, it's about time we talk about the problems. First of all is the writing. Something just felt off, like it wasn't the same as the series. While we're on the subject of writing, am I the only one who didn't think the jokes were all that special? Of course, humor is different for everyone, and young audiences would probably have a good time here, but when compared to the other movies, this doesn't hold up with the comedy.
Good morning, SpongeBob!
Good morning, Patrick!
Good!
Also, some of the characters do things that 100% wouldn't happen in the series. I kid you not. There's a moment where SpongeBob says,
Crappy.
out loud. Okay? I'm just confused. Another Sponge on the Run problem lies in the actual storyline. It was all about Gary getting kidnapped, while SpongeBob and Patrick are on a quest to rescue him. They need to go to the lost city of Atlantic City, which is a unique place, but I don't know. King Poseidon feels like a much worse version of King Neptune. Not only is this a rehash of the first movie in some ways, but what about the whole Gary gone missing story? That already happened in season 4, and everyone remembers it. Whether you like this movie or not, you gotta admit, a lot of it was done before. While I wouldn't call Sponge Out of Water a great movie, I have to give credit where credit is due. It did something very different than what we're used to. SpongeBob and Plankton teaming up was refreshing because it was new, but the same can't be said with Sponge on the Run. Problem number 3 is the pacing. At the beginning of the movie, we spent a lot of time getting used to Bikini Bottom and the characters living in it. Not a whole lot really happens here, as it lays the ground for everything that comes later. By the time SpongeBob and Patrick set out on their journey, you'd assume it'll last the majority of the runtime, right? No, not exactly. Their adventure comes to an end with half the movie left when they reach Atlantic City. Who thought this was a good idea? We then spend around 45 minutes either in the Lost City or with the rest of the gang at Bikini Bottom. It just feels so weird how the time is managed here. There are also periods of time where not much happens, which isn't like what you'd expect for a fast-paced franchise like SpongeBob. Now, let's talk about one of the most infamous parts about Sponge on the Run, Kamp Koral. I mentally prepared myself going into the movie, but man, it was hard to watch. At random moments throughout the story, we would get flashbacks into the place where every character met. A lot of it doesn't make sense within the timeline of SpongeBob, retconning what came before. Remember that time he met Sandy in one of the first episodes? Well, just forget that ever happened.
I'm Sandy Cheeks from Texas. Hi, Sandy. I'm SpongeBob. Pleased to meet you.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
For all intents and purposes, I'm calling this entire movie non-canon. The final problem I have with Sponge on the Run is that it doesn't feel like a SpongeBob movie. So many things seem like they were added only because of corporate intervention. Why does Snoop Dogg make an appearance? Why does SpongeBob say crappy? Why did they go to a western town with zombies if that doesn't relate to SpongeBob? All of these things take away from the experience for me. This is a movie, alright, but it doesn't share the same comfy feeling of the series. It was less about staying faithful to the source material and more about making money. At the end of the day, would I recommend Sponge on the Run? Well, if you're a hardcore fan of SpongeBob, then yeah. The art style is incredible enough to at least keep your attention, but everything else is just disappointing. If you ask me, this is the worst of the 3 movies we have, and I genuinely wish that wasn't the case. There's not much that hasn't already been done before. The style is great, but that alone can't make up for a weak story, writing, and weird corporate decisions. Now, if anyone wants me, I'm going back to the original show. But anyway, that's all for this video. Subscribe for more awesome cartoon videos. Give a thumbs up and comment below, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.